Hello, and welcome to this episode of On the Pulse of Packaging. I'm your host, Shannon Winans, and we're going to be talking about bags and materials for automatic baggers today. And with us, we have Dan Fedrocy from the Bags and Materials Division, who is going to discuss how the customer bag selection process goes, helping customers determine stock or custom bags. Dan, thank you for joining us today.
Hey Shannon, thanks for having me. Probably the biggest request I've gotten in my last almost 3 years now that I've been here is the difference between stock bags that are on demand and custom bags. And really the more details, the more information that I can receive, now I'm able to leverage the time and the experience that I've had to say, hey, maybe in this case you need a stock bag, quicker turnaround, easier accessibility, or hey, maybe in this case, because of a bunch of different factors, we need to look at a custom bag to fit the needs. So it always comes down to kind of hearing the story, what's being packaged, understanding the product, and then I can actually try to find the right pathway for them versus just, hey, quote me this, and then get them the pricing.
Great. And do you want to talk about some of the solutions that PAC Machinery sells?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is we have so many different stock bag options. Obviously, your standard clear roll bags that are going to go on any machine, whether it's one of ours or even a competitor, which we'd love to have them go on our machines, obviously. But we've got anything from standard clear roll bags to vented roll bags to suffocation warnings to white with a clear background or a clear backing, as well as your standard coax mailers, which are extremely hot product, especially right now. So it's really understanding the dynamics of any project, understanding the product that's going in there, how they're bagging it, and really the demands in their inventory levels to know, are these stock more valuable than maybe that exactly specific size that you had in mind. So when you're looking at the stock roll bags we have in inventory, it's understanding the entire process. And a lot of times that can come down from a very quick 20 or 30 minute call. And I found myself over the last couple of years realizing, hey, I think I might have a better idea for you than them just telling me what to do and again setting up the pricing.
Do you have any customer stories that you want to share? Maybe or you recently helped a customer. Maybe they thought they wanted one product and they actually really needed something else.
We had a customer most recently that had, again, we're talking about the difference in sizing. They called and said, I'm really looking for a 6x7 with suffocation warning on that. Quote me this, look at the different prints that we need to have on there for the specs they're looking for. And I said, okay, how important is that length? How important is that 6x7? And right off the bat on that phone call, it was, well, this was just the size that we kind of had in mind. This is the size that we think is going to fit our product pretty well. So I initially go right to our stock bag sizing and I say, okay, if I'm ever going to have to choose, I always want to have that bag a little bit longer. If your product can fit in a 6x7, well, then it's definitely going to fit in a 6x8. And we have a suffocation warning stock bag. And does this make sure it fits the requirement for languages that you're looking for? And I don't even think they realized that that was an option. Hey, that makes total sense. If the product would fit in a 6x7, well, I know it's going to fit in a 6x8. Or if a product fits in an 8x9, I know it'll fit in an 8x10. But being able to go up there and look at that, just be able to say, hey, this is the choice I would like to make. The material size fit, they still wanted a clear bag. It was going to be able to match their product and it was going to be able to match all of their needs. And then we can get them smaller quantities, a little bit more on demand versus, hey, you're going to have to buy 100,000 of these and then spread that out throughout the entire year. That extra length of that bag that we carry stock is small potatoes compared to all those hurdles we would have had to have jumped through to get them that 6x7. So it's really just a critical understanding that the more information they can give me, the more I can point them in the right direction.
Maybe you can tell us about an example of your process with a customer who might have needed a custom bag. Can you share a recent story?
I've got one of my biggest customers, they package some eyeglasses, right? So we need to think about what kind of material is going to be right for those eyeglasses. So we look at a specific film that doesn't allow them to be scratched from the material itself. And those are things that, we think of that maybe someone who's just thinking about putting a product in a bag and shipping them out isn't just going to go into those fine details. So it's really a pivot point based off of how much they can share with us their understanding of the packaging process, and then us being able to deviate them into the right path, again, versus just take the call, take the request, and get a pricing. It's more about understanding the bigger picture, what they're getting out of it, and really what are their pressure points. If your lead time is not an issue, let's talk about a custom run, and maybe we can even lower pricing from that because we can get larger quantities. We can talk about different release options to be able to keep their inventory up, but also not be worried about losing that inventory. But it's really understanding what are going to be the challenges that they're going to face, and maybe being able to look at the 5, 6, 7 different solutions within our process to help them make that be as easy as possible.
And if packagers out there are looking for maybe a new vendor, what do you want to say? Why PAC Machinery? Besides our expertise, what sets us apart?
Yeah, I think the reality is we're going to kind of go to the next level for you. Maybe we spend a week getting your process completely lined up versus just taking your orders, I think is a critical piece that we bring into play for anybody.
All right, well, thanks, Dan. We appreciate you on this episode today and sharing your expertise with us.
Thanks, Shannon. I very much appreciate it.